watching when they're sneaking and creeping around. It's the only time they're quiet in the background. Tired of busting them anyway. I'd rather have the peace. Let them sneak. Okay, now, back to the bestseller, Talk to Yourself, because you don't listen to no one else. I've been talking. I'm only telling you this because I'm right up on top of it. By the time you hear this, they'll just be playing catch up like always. See, I don't worry about all the copycats. I only worry about the spies who get my stuff and try to do it before me. I go real hard on them. But people who imitate me, who copy what I do, that's kind of like their orientation from birth. Even babies learn by imitation. Before they can even understand your words, they copy you. But people who spy on you, see what you're working on, take it and try to do it before you or instead of you, they get the death penalty. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw this out here, and everybody can play catch up like they always have. Because this is how I'm going to kill all the spies who try to do it before I do. I'm going to share it with you. Give it to everybody like I did the mental notes. Do you know what governments and corporations and crazy big people want to rule the world would have did to me if they would have got their hands on this information and you didn't? I shut it down 4 times to test and see who would be glad, so I could see who was trying to shut me down and block me. They were so stupid, they didn't even know what I was doing. They was like, hey, since he shut his mental notes down, we don't have nothing to worry about. That's how dumb they were. But check this out. I try to put in tens of thousands of words a day. And you can't say do, re, mi all day long and la, la, la. And I only got so many songs that the spies and listeners be done learned my entire songs. So I kept talking, any subject. Tried to record most of it as mental notes, but when it got personal, I pressed pause. And then good stuff came out, and it wasn't recorded. And sometimes I didn't remember. But here's the method to my madness. Okay, here's the end that justifies my means. He who talks the most talks the best. And just a minute. I'm not playing. So you talk. And talk and talk and talk and talk. To become a good talker, a good speaker, yes. Especially if your jaws and your mouth has been destroyed. And you shouldn't even be able to speak. And you have to be a speaker. It's going to take some work. So I got right in, I called it practice. People said, hey, he's going crazy. He's talking to himself. They didn't know anything about talk to yourself because you don't really listen to no one else. And sometimes you need to be talked to. So, and they know nothing about being an adult. That adult has to be its own parent. So it has to talk to itself. It has to check itself. It even has to admonish and chastise itself. That's why you don't hardly see any adults. Just little kids in men's skin and grown people's bodies. So let me get to this point, because this is not supposed to be a long note. It is just, at first I was just doing it in case I get neuralized or something happen where I don't forget the level I'm at, where they don't try to set me back. I'm to the point where I'm right there. As soon as I go this next move, my plan will be able to go smooth. Plan was to talk, to speak, until my speaking reached its peak. By that time, everything I said would rhyme. And then I could do the thing. Instead of talk, I could sing. Did you see the little rewind? Rewind? I put those little before pictures in there, always, in case I don't have good enough before pictures where they don't know how bad it was. You know, I want them to know how bad it was. I got the before pictures and the before pictures. How I was an angel and how they fucked me up really bad. Made me look like a monster almost. And how I came all the way back. Why? Not for any kind of bragging or vanity's sake. Because it's in keeping with the theme of what I'm doing. If he did it, I can do it. He himself told me there's nothing he did that I can't do. And I gotta throw a little twister in there in case it gets lost in the shuffle somewhere else because it popped up, and which means I should mention it now. I'm not going to use the name that we're going to use because we're going to really use it. So let's call them device heads. All right? You know, when we call a person a head, it's a term for an addict, you know, like crackhead. So people probably don't remember crackheads. It was a long time ago. A drug they used to use. But they're device heads, tech heads, okay? Screen heads. As long as it has a screen, they're hooked. They're never off screen and they're never offline. Just like a machine and a robot, they're online. When a machine system starts up, it's called, they call it coming online. Even our nuclear missiles must come online. You aren't supposed to come online. So, how do you spot that there's a problem and who it is? They have 1 foot in the matrix and 1 foot out, which is like when you hear them singing, they're tone deaf because they have both headphones on, and for some reason it makes you can't hear yourself and you think you're singing good, but you're not. That's why when you see professional artists, they're tying up their hands with a headphone that doesn't need hands because they're holding only one of them on one ear so that they can hear themselves with the other ear. That's for all you amateurs. Never try to sing with both ears plugged. Never try to sing with your ears plugged. You sound like a deaf person, even if you talk. What you think makes them sound like that? Their ears aren't working. So, the device is no more, if they extend their arm fully, very few people have an arm a yard long. So let's just say a foot or two. And if they have on a headset, as in playing a game or virtual reality, it's only inches away from their mouth. Either way, a couple of feet, a couple of inches, they are talking at the top of their lungs like they're hollering at someone across the street. You can hear their whole conversation through your walls. That's someone who is too deep in it, who said F throwing a middle finger to the world around them and being real rude, drowning people out, doing whatever to talk to a person that is 2 inches away. That's really insane. To be screaming at a person 2 inches away. To be screaming at a person 2 feet away. That's what you do when you talk loud on the phone or on a game or a headset. And I'm going to have everyone looking at you like you're an idiot. I'm going to put that on the idiot list. Yep, there go one over there. Look at him. Wants everybody, wants to be a phone DJ. Wants everybody to hit their conversation on the phone. The phone star. Have an idiot, mindless conversation. I could say if they were see if they were saying something really deep and profound, or giving some really important information, some news of something that just happened, important to everyone who's like in here. But they're not. Doing some old personal gossip that we all have heard in our own life. It's disrespectful and rude. Not just crazy. But most crazy thing, see, crazy people don't have manners. They're crazy. And you telling them what they're doing wrong is a waste of time. They're crazy. They don't have to have good reasons for anything. They're crazy. Make sure they don't infect you. That's what you do. I've had a hard time making these notes. And it wasn't always a scheme of someone who was against the ones and what we're doing. It's just another crazy. Give you an example. I'm not concerned about their life, their ways, their principles, their rules, their nothing. I don't even want to meet them or know them, and they resent that. All right? So they're all in my business, my life, researching me, hearing and talking and gossip and hearing things about me. And as people pass these things on, pass on things like, I overheard this. And they say dumb things like, I'm trying to over here work, right? And so I'm always on the people around me about making unnecessary noise. They're just disagreeable people who try to disagree with everything. Okay, we're going to X them out. Completely out the hole. They're not going to be able to live, not amongst us. Because look, show you how it works. As soon as they find out what a person don't like, they have the nerve to have an attitude about what that person likes or don't like. Show you. Say the person don't like noise. They're going to go and make some noise, some unnecessary noise, like who he think he is. Want the whole world to be quiet just so he can do what he can do. And now, they were right so far, right there, right? And then they go and make some noise that they wouldn't have normally made just to fuck with this person. Now they become the bad guy in the situation. And we're going to X them out. If they have nothing better to do, we don't need you. You know people like this. There's people that know what you don't like. They think they can do what you don't like and know what you don't like and do it anyway. You know these people. And you also know what happens to them. You know what hasn't changed? I seen the whole world changed in about 20 years, somewhere back between the year 2000 and the year 2020. I seen the world change more than it had changed since the world was here. And it was in a short time. Unavoidable circumstances. This notice to be continued. Death to all 5 Wakanda. Mental note to myself. Whatever I was just talking about, go in depth to the full length. Drive the stake all the way through the heart.